Welcome to the Kids Travel Tales Holiday Spectacular! And look, we got our Christmas Mickey ears on too. Mia, do we have a special guest co-hosting with us today? What's his name?
Rudolph.
Rudolph, would you like to intro the show today? Yes? All right. Hit it, Rudolph. So Mia, when we started this podcast and I asked what types of episodes you wanted to have, who you wanted to invite on the show, you said one person. It wasn't Rudolph. Who was the person you said you wanted to have on this show most?
Why?
And why did you want to talk to Wyatt?
Because he went to meet Santa.
Wyatt went to Santa Claus Wyatt went to Finland to the real Arctic Circle to meet Santa Claus. So Mia, let's get into your question of the week. Rudolph, you can answer too. Mia, is Santa Claus real?
Yes.
Yes. All right, I'm going to hold Rudolph while you answer the question. And Rudolph is nodding that Santa Claus is real. Mia, can you speak into the microphone and tell us why Santa Claus is real?
Because I see other presents at the Christmas tree.
So under your Christmas tree.
And somebody ate the cookies.
Oh, somebody ate the cookies we left out last year for Santa Claus? Yeah, that's true. Oh, and what presents do you see under the Christmas tree? You see presents from Santa Claus labeled under the Christmas tree?
Yeah.
Okay, that's terrific. Oh, is Santa Claus calling you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we bring in Wyatt first, and maybe you can call Santa Claus after.
He went to meet Santa Claus. It's Wyatt.
Yay, Wyatt and Lauren.
Yay!
I think they can hear you now, Mia. Thank you guys for coming on today, and happy Thanksgiving. Mia, do you want to ask Wyatt your first question?
We're happy to be here.
I lost my shoe again.
It's okay. You don't need your shoes.
What was your favorite part of going to meet Santa Claus in Finland? Getting the stuffed animal.
Well, who gave that to you?
Oh, Santa gave you a stuffed animal? Or
Yeah.
did Santa give it to you or the elves?
Santa. Would you rather go back to Italy or Great Wolf Lodge, and why? Great Wolf Lodge.
Why?
Really? What?
And
Because
why?
there's water
And why?
slides.
Mia wants to know.
Because there's water slides.
What is your favorite part about game day at the University of Georgia?
What's your favorite part about going to the football games in Athens?
Georgia won.
When Georgia wins?
That's your favorite part?
Yes.
You don't like sitting in the stands or seeing the
No.
Bulldog?
No.
Okay.
I like when my team wins too. I don't blame you, Wyatt.
You could go anywhere.
Anywhere I want.
Where would that be? Where do you want to go?
Mia,
Florida State.
Florida State.
Florida.
Florida State.
I said Florida State.
Do you want to see
Okay.
the Georgia Bulldogs beat Florida State? You are just like your dad. I love it. Mia, you
Well-
want to tell Wyatt
Well,
where you wanna
Georgia
go in the
won
world?
Florida.
You
Yes,
can't put
Georgia beat
camera.
Florida this year.
What? I want to go to Ireland.
Ooh, I did too. I've never been there.
What's the last question you want to ask Wyatt?
What do you want Santa Claus to bring you for Christmas this year?
Besides a Georgia Bulldog win. Nothing? That's going to save your mom a lot of money.
A football.
You want a football?
Another one.
But you want
Oh,
Legos.
Oh, what?
a football. Mia,
I
do you want a
play
football for
football with
Christmas?
my dad.
Yeah.
Like the what?
Really? I thought you went to Pokemon
I know a
cards.
football helmet.
I want
A
a
football helmet.
football.
I want a football for Christmas. Awesome. Well, Wyatt, thank you so
Wait,
much
I
for
want a
coming
football
on.
And a
uniform.
hippo.
You want a hippo?
What?
Would you guys bring your pet hippopotamus to Taekwondo?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you later, Wyatt. Mia, say goodbye to
Wait,
Wyatt.
I sounded.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Lauren, so now that it's just us moms, tell us how you decided to plan a magical Christmas adventure to Finland.
How cool would that be to go see Santa? So, but we also realized we had to do it while he was old enough to travel and kind of understand it, but young enough that there weren't going to be any questions about going to see Santa. So we figured last year was the best year to do it. We initially were going to try to do it like right around Christmas, but it booked up pretty quickly. So, and we'd already told him we were going. So we're like, okay, let's go over Thanksgiving. And it actually worked out really well because it's not as big of a travel week to Europe for most Americans. Yeah, it worked out really well. So, we got a full week over there. We got to spend a couple nights in Helsinki, which was the first weekend of like the Christmas market. And then they had the Santa parade. So yeah, it worked out really nicely to go over Thanksgiving.
So those are already two great pro tips right there. Go the week over Thanksgiving and book early. Absolutely.
Yes. Like the resort booking opens, I want to say like 8 months ahead of time.
Oh, wow.
And at least for peak weekends or peak days, you kind of have to be on it.
What are some of the magical aspects that you remember? What are some of your favorite moments?
Yeah. So, I think even just as soon as we got up to Ivanlo, which was, I think it was like a 2-hour plane ride north of Helsinki. So, we were north. We were north of the Arctic Circle. Wyatt was quite amazed because it was a very small airport. So it's one of those airports where they bring the stairs to the plane and you deplane outside. And everything was very white, very different than anything he'd ever experienced. And then we get in the shuttle to go to the resort. And there's just like reindeer hanging out on the side of the road, chowing down on whatever reindeer graze on in the Arctic, which was kind of nuts. Those see the reindeer just randomly hanging out.
What type of activities did they have there?
So they had a lot of activities, and they had a wide range for people of all ages and activity level. We stuck to the ones that were a little bit more family friendly. So the first day we were there, we did dog sledding, which was also kind of nuts because we thought everything was going to be like a guided dog sled tour. And the first thing they take us through is how to manage the dog sled. And so we drove the dog sled.
What? Oh my gosh. I freak out driving in a car with a kid. I can't imagine being in a dog sled driving dogs with your kid attached. Oh my goodness. How was that?
It was wild. It was fun. You got to like stand on this little thing to stop it and like with all your weight because those dogs really want to go.
Right.
It's like they're very simple. It's like this like wooden lever that you sit on, you stand on, and you kind of raise it up and down depending on like if you want the dogs to go faster or slower because these guys want to go.
Oh my gosh.
So we did that the first day. And the other piece of it is the sun didn't come up till almost 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe 9:30, and it set around 3:30. So there wasn't like a ton of time during the day to do a gazillion things. So it was actually a very relaxing trip. So we did the dog sledding. They had sleds that you could borrow. We did some sledding around the resort. Eating, and we ended up with one of the igloo cabins. And so it had a fireplace. We played a lot of Uno and just kind of hung out. And,
Not like a real igloo. I assume like one of those glass
No,
dome.
it's a glass igloo. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And part of why we did the igloo cabin was because if you book just the regular igloo, there's a toilet and a sauna, but there's not a shower. And you have to use communal showers like if you were going camping. And I was not willing to have to go outside when it's like negative 10 degrees out to go take a shower.
That's your real Arctic Circle experience right there, taking the shower outside. No.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes the young families, you still need some of the comforts from home. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, was there a part where he did get to go meet the real Santa Claus?
Oh, yes.
The real Santa Claus. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So the second full day we were there, we did the Santa experience. And so our elf came and picked us up at the lodge.
Your elf?
And, oh, yes. We had an elf named Sprinkles or Sparkles that came and picked us up. And so she took us on a walk over to Santa's house, and we got to see his house and all the lights. And there was like a sort of like lookout tower, all sorts of things. So you get to Santa's house. And then you go inside and Santa comes out and meets you and you get to go in and he sits down and asks, so what do you want for Christmas? Gave Wyatt the little gift that had the stuffy moose in it, hung out there for a little bit. And then after that, we went to go feed the reindeer, which reindeer do not eat carrots. Go figure.
Reindeer do
They
not eat
eat-
carrots.
They don't eat carrots. They eat lichen, which is like hard moss.
Interesting. Frozen, the movie betrayed us. They gave us false information.
They don't eat carrots. So we fed them. We went and fed the reindeer. And then after that, they took us to this other lodge where they gave us, so they had this it's kind of like apple cider, but I think it's like lingonberry or some sort of Arctic
Yum.
berry juice that
I don't know
heat
about you.
up.
I'm a huge fan of lingonberries.
Yeah, it was very tasty. So they gave us some of that and like the little like ginger snap cookies that you can buy at IKEA. And these obviously did not come from IKEA.
Yes.
It was kind of like that.
I know.
So we did that.
It's so sad. Most of our experience with Swedish and Scandinavian food, the first introduction comes from IKEA.
I know.
That's true. Did you get to try any unusual foods while you were over there? Did Wyatt try any unusual foods?
Wyatt
I
did
shouldn't
not
say
try
unusual, but foods unique to Scandinavian culture.
Absolutely. So breakfast and dinner was included at the resort. And it had a mix of things. So, yeah, they had like all the different spreads and all the cured fishes, like the obviously smoked salmon, but they had like the pickled herring and like all of it. They had some sort of reindeer spread that kind of reminded me of, those like cheese spreads that like were really popular like in the 80s, that like the
Cheese balls.
and you get that the meat stuff that was in the little jar that you would chop up. Like that's kind of what it reminded me of.
Oh my goodness. That's very traditional.
Yeah. And they had some sort of porridge type cereal thing that was like sort of like oatmeal, but it wasn't oatmeal. And they had like all sorts of stuff to go in there, like again, like the dried lingonberries and something that was kind of piney that went in. So yeah, I think breakfast was probably the one that had the most
Unusual items.
For dinner, this actually really made me laugh. So when we go to check in, dinner included is like a 3-course meal. Great. Awesome. So they're like, you have 3 menus to choose from every night. You have the international one, the vegetarian, and the Indian menu. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know Finnish people liked Indian food so much. We go to sit down and dinner the first night, and like 60% of the people in the dining room were from India. I was like, oh, okay, that explains it. And then then the next day I looked at the breakfast buffet. There was Indian food on the breakfast buffet. I was like, that's wild. Like, I wonder what it is that like this is like a place to go. Like, it was like
big difference
to the
in
point where
weather.
they had a full menu, and it was like
wow.
legit Indian food. Like it was spicy, not like.
Chris would be happy there. Chris loves Indian food.
Yeah. But like the international menu, which was more local, was like a lot of like local meats and fish, like, grass-fed beef, but not salmon, the Arctic char, cod, fish, vegetables,
Oh,
some
that
sort
makes
of
sense.
starch. So yeah.
I don't think we actually mentioned by name the resort you all were at. Is there only one resort that does this? Or
I don't think so. And I'm going to totally butcher the name. It's like there's lots of A's and K's in the name, and I have no idea how to pronounce.
We'll put it in the bio.
There are some others. So one of the things that we didn't do was there's actually a Santa train that goes overnight from Helsinki up north to a different village. So, and I think there's like some similar resorts in that area. We didn't do the Santa train because it was still 3 hours south of where we were staying. And part of why I wanted to do it was to see the Northern Lights. So obviously the further north you are, the more likely you are to see that. But that would have been something really cool. The issue with that was the only way to get from where the Santa train stopped and up to where we were staying was like to take a bus. I was like, get a bus.
Yeah, bus in the snow is an interesting experience.
No, and especially because like we had so much stuff with us because like we had to go buy coats and like long johns and lots of layers like ski gear,
right?
Or ski pants, even though we weren't really skiing. So we had a lot of luggage with us for a week-long trip, like much more than we normally would have, just because of the gear we needed to take.
Yeah, let's get into some of the challenges in taking a trip like this. Besides difficulties with missing flights, connections, etc. What surprised you about this trip? Was there gear you wish you would have brought, gear you wish you would have left behind? Any tips for families thinking about making this trek over?
Yeah. So There's a couple ways you can go about. Like, I actually feel like we did a pretty good job just by looking at like what was on the website and reviewing some other sites. Again, bringing your ski clothes. You're going to need them. Long johns, extra layers, hats, good gloves. There are companies that will rent the clothes for you. We opted not to do that because we do go skiing. So I did get Wyatt a little bit of a nicer jacket than I might have gotten normally to go skiing, but I figured we're going somewhere where it could be negative 10, 20 degrees, and I don't want him to be freezing. So definitely we bought new coats to go out there. But yeah, just lots of layers and just kind of be open-minded. I'm glad we threw the Uno deck in there because there were no TVs or anything.
No TVs. Were you getting internet reception?
Oh yeah, actually great internet. Finland, most of Scandinavia is really easy to travel to, even with kids. So like, yeah, internet's really good. Through all Scandinavia and very kid friendly. Like all the restaurants had chicken fingers and French fries, which I was a little annoyed with because that's pretty much all Wyatt ate. But it definitely took kind of the stress off of like, what's he going to eat? Because he would eat chicken fingers and French fries.
Right, of course. Before we switched topics, how did you feel the value you got was for this trip? And do you think it was the right age to go with Wyatt? Wyatt must have been 4, right?
He was 5.
He was 5 when you went? Okay, so 5. Do you think 5 is a good age to go? And how is the value you think you got overall for what you paid?
I mean, this was not a cheap trip, but
I can imagine.
It's like once in a lifetime ones. It's like, we're not doing this again. Though Wyatt keeps asking when we're going back. Like, no, other kids need to go visit Santa at the North Pole. You don't get to go every year. But I mean, I think just from the uniqueness of it and the experiences and, going somewhere where it is so dark for so much of the day and then seeing the northern lights, because like they actually had alarms in the room. So like whenever the northern lights would start showing, like the alarm would go off so you could see them. And it is kind of cool, like sleeping, because like Wyatt and I slept in the igloo part of the cabin. All you got to do is like look up and there's like the northern lights. Like it's really pretty cool. And I feel like these are memories that he's going to have forever. Because like you said, he is still asking like, when are we going back? I mean, how cool is it to be like, yeah, my parents took me to see Santa Claus when he,
What does he say now when he sees like a Santa in the mall?
Well, so I think it's going to be a little bit more interesting this year to see how he reacts. Because like last year when I took him to get the Santa pictures, he's like, Mom, I already saw Santa. I'm like, I know, but you got to get like the professional pictures done.
That's hilarious. Is it gonna fall?